Well, a recent study in the United States asked people about their deepest fears. Results were interesting. All over something like talking to a group of people, death, loneliness, financial loss, sickness, height, water, death, snake bites, dogs. Surprisingly, it's not death that most people are afraid of. Do you know what that is? It's talking in front of people like you is the biggest fear of mankind. When you're giving presentation, think of presentation as a natural conversation. Giving presentations are not natural, but making conversations are natural. Giving presentation is notoriously stressful. I know that. Something strange seems to happen to you when you're called on to give presentation in front of a group of people. But you need to understand how to give an awesome presentation. You might have had ample opportunities to give presentation back in school, college, or university life, or you still might have opportunities to give presentation then your workplace. The moment you get now that you got to give presentation, you feel like going under the bed and never coming out. Remember, talking or giving presentation is just like playing a golf, driving a car, owning a store. The more you do it, better you get at it, and the more fun you have doing it. But you have to understand certain fundamentals first. I'm going to share with you 3 key elements that's going to help you give a knockout presentation. All of us dream of giving a good, awesome presentation. I'm sure once you follow these 3 key elements, it's going to help you a lot. Number 1, practice. We all know that practice makes a man perfect, but I put it something different to my students, professionals during workshop seminars, saying that practice makes practice better. You got to do a lot of practice, and I do it. I do self-practice, mirror practice, standing in front of a mirror, visualizing a massive crowd sitting in front of me, and I start off my presentations, right? It has given me a lot of help. You can get yourself engaged into self-talks, talking to the walls, heavenly bodies, to the pets. It's only one word, practice, that can make you a confident speaker, presenter, an explosive public speaker. Tony Robinson, you might know this guy, one of the most successful trainers in corporate America. He gets to the plane, he goes directly to the stage, and he starts off with his presentation. Bang. Why? Because he does a lot of practice, if not hundreds of times, probably thousands of times. So there's only one word, practice, practice, practice. Rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. You can get your presentation recorded in the Gadgets and Gears. That's what I do, and I do it off and on to check out the mistakes that I made. Right? When cam is rolling, you can look back and stop your presentation over and over again, and as I've done a number of times today. But when you're giving presentation, you got only one chance, and you got to get going with the bang, right? Because first 1 minute of the presentation is decisive. The audience is going to decide whether they're going to listen to you or not. If you're not taking off confidently, the passengers boarding the plane would be shaky exactly in the same way. And the audience listening to you might get the feeling that you're not confident. They might look for the ways to exit. The second thing is keeping the audience engaged. Grab the attention of the audience. The best way to do is to share it with, to start with the story, right? And the storytelling is one of the most effective ways indeed to start off your presentation. Now, when I was slumbering and I got a call from one of my friends, and he asked me to rescue him, I said, "What's wrong?" He said that the guy we invited is not turning up, is missing, so you got to come and give presentation. And the next moment I had to do that. I had no choice left. I couldn't say no to him. The moment I started my presentation, I got to the stage. I had the stage fright there. I didn't have any idea about what I was going to deliver. It was about marketing, 22 immutable laws of marketing. I didn't have any clue what was it about. Honestly, trust me. Then what I did was I started sharing my personal story, because remember one fact, that it's a journey, emotional, intellectual journey between you and the audience, right? And you as a presenter take on that journey. So I started sharing something that was emotional. It was about public speaking, and that I related that to marketing, and that worked very well. At the moment, you must be tuning in with a lot of attention, listening to me with a great deal of attention, unflinching attention, because I'm sharing my story to you exactly in the same way I did that to the audience. The moment I started off with my presentation, somewhere, the moment I started it, I felt that it caught me up, it froze me up. I was lost, I was locked up, and the mind got empty. But sharing story gave me a boost, and it was really a bang. So sharing story, anecdotes, fables help you a lot in keeping the audience hooked on the edges of their seats. And when you start focusing on the audience, keeping the key message there in your mind, the audience will automatically focus on your material, on the stuff that you are delivering. The third thing is you got to follow KISS. Keep it sweet and simple. Whatever the stuff you're delivering should be accurate, well structured, And I mean, don't drown in information. Don't share tons of information. Keep it sweet and simple, keeping the key message there in your mind. I'm sure you're gonna land confidently. You won't have a crash landing. So takeoff and landing is gonna make a big difference for you as a presenter. So I'm sure once you follow these 3 key elements, there is no reason why you cannot give out a knockout presentation